Hey, I'm Max with Save Your Home Buyers. You might have seen me on some of my other videos or working with a senior here in Northeast Tarrant County. And one type of senior housing facility that is pretty cool and doesn't really get talked about as much as I think it should is residential assisted living. And residential assisted living is basically a house like, this one right here. I break it down in my book, this best-selling book that I wrote, Home to Home, the Step-by-Step Senior Housing Guide. And in the book, residential assisted living is one of the options that I break down as a choice. So, we've talked in another video about the three types of senior housing. There's independent care, there's assisted, and there's nursing. Well, traditionally, people thought the only option that they had when it came to assisted was live like in a big hotel type place. And, we found that's actually not the case. Entrepreneurs and, really caring professionals have decided, hey, let's take a house that's, like a big 4 or 5 bedroom house in an existing neighborhood and, let 6 to 10 or 12 seniors, live in it. Sometimes they add on a room, sometimes they don't. So, why is this even important? Well, if you have a parent and you're trying to get them in the best facility possible, and you just sort of pick whatever's left, or you only pick one of the big box places, it can lead to kind of pouring money down the drain if your senior is not really even very happy living there. Right now with the way the COVID is, a lot of folks are trying to be around, as few people as possible. And so those larger assisted living facilities are a little bit intimidating. Even though they're taking safety protocols, people pretty much just have to stay, mostly in their rooms. And so being in a smaller facility, you just have a lot more control over, who's there and who's not. So picking the right place is obviously really, really crucial. And, because you don't want to waste money and you want to make sure that you're a senior somewhere where they're really happy. So what I'm going to do is I've got a copy of my workbook here, and I'm going to break down a little bit about residential assisted living facilities. So these are converted single family houses like the one behind me in neighborhoods, or sometimes they're small buildings that have, that have been built just for it. So they're not always, existing homes. That's one way. And then some people build like brand new facilities, but they're normally quite a bit smaller than normal, normal places that you've seen when you think assisted living. So most facilities have between 6 and 18 seniors in per property. And some of the pros are it's obviously a close-knit community feel. The small groups allow the residents to really get to know people, and it's a home feeling. That's what I love about it. I have a lot of people that I know personally that run these type of facilities, and I just like the fact that, look at the neighborhood. I'm gonna just kind of pan around here, and we're just in a really, really quiet neighborhood, and it's just a bunch of big one-story houses, and it's just, what I think is really cool about it is it's the same kind of neighborhood that the senior would probably live in. Literally somebody could come from that house down there and just decide that they don't want to upkeep it anymore, and they can move into this one, with 6 or 8 other seniors and have somebody taking care of them. Plus there's amenities. So some of the facilities have chefs, high-end facilities. They've got really, really nice yards. And cons, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I'd really try to be objective and come up with one. The only thing I would say is maybe at some of the larger assisted living facilities, they can bring in maybe more entertainment, or, maybe if you wanted to socialize with a lot more than 6 or 18 people, like you wanted 100 people to pick from, that might be it. But, normally when people go to assisted living, they need quite a bit of help, and they're still, trying to be as independent as possible. But I don't really think when I'm that age, I don't want to hang out with 100 people. I want to live in a place like this. This is my personal, what Max wants to do. And I like the CCRCs a lot. And if you see my other video on that, you can see why. I just got to see what my wife wants to do. So, the cost, the average across the nation is about $4,000. So they're actually about the same price, sometimes less than the larger big box facilities. It's just really where you want to live. One of the other big benefits is the caregiver ratio. So sometimes when you see the larger facilities, they'll say we have a really good ratio, 10 to 1, so, for every 10 residents, there's, one person, one caregiver. but they sometimes include in that, like, you know, the chef and the gardener and the maintenance people. If you take those out, it can be more like 20 to 1 or 50 to 1, and then it's even different at night. Whereas these, there's a caregiver with these folks like at all times, you know, in some of the facilities too. So it's just a really, really low ratio. And so if you get in with a good place and you have a really good caregiver, it's the same price as assisted living. I don't know why everybody doesn't do this, to be honest with you. Ways to lower the cost, you can get one of these with like a shared room, and that's cheaper than a private room. And obviously some facilities maybe have less amenities. And that's it. So just, you know, consider it, take a look at it. And if you like this video, check out some of our other ones. Bye.